Hello, this is take two. I just recorded this video, but there was no audio, and I don't know why. But we're gonna get straight into this. I want to talk about being yourself. Here's a problem that I've had. I recently started reading the Bible, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the Bible. It doesn't have to be about religion. It doesn't have to be about any specific thing. Whenever I read a book that is very dense in wisdom, or has some very wise characters in it, or the author is very wise, I try to emulate them. And that's what you should do, right? You should try to emulate these people. You should try to become a little bit more like them, at least in their good aspects, the aspects that you aspire to be more like, right? But, I mean, you got to understand, you can't be exactly like them. If it's you're reading the Bible, you can't be God. So why am I trying to be perfect? Why am I trying to be like God? It's building up an OCD because I see that all these different things are bad. They're sins, right? You can't do them or you're going to hell. But and I understand that there's mercy, right? You could do some of these things and be fine, or whatever. You get forgiven. I don't know how it works. I'm 60 pages in. I've been an atheist my whole life. I don't know how it works. But the point is, I try to go from having like sinning several different sins in my portfolio of sins, right? In my arsenal of sins that are typical for me, into having zero. And that is a big jump. It is one that makes it far more difficult than if you just say, all right, I'm going to take it one step at a time. I'm not going to jerk off today. I'm not going to, what's the sin called? Gluttony. I'm not going to eat like shit. But what I'm doing is I'm saying, all right, I'm not going to jerk off. I'm not going to eat like shit. I'm not going to sleep in. I'm not going to skip this workout. I'm going to go full as hard as I can. And I'm not going to curse. It's that last one that's like killing me. I say I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to say I'm going to limit my vocabulary to be perfect. To be perfect. If I say any word that is less than holy, I am going to hell, and so I can't do that. I can't do that. It is making me have OCD. I'm not saying the book is making me have OCD. It's the way that I'm interpreting the book, and it's the way that my mind works, right? I'm not blaming the Bible for my problems. I'm saying I shouldn't look to be, I'm just being a perfectionist, right? And because of this, I'm not able to really be myself. So this is the part that's bad with the Bible is that because I'm now taking on the perspective that there's a God, and I've never had that perspective, right? So there's someone who is watching me 24/7. So when I say I can't be myself, I can't be myself even when I'm alone. Even if I think a curse word, I get mad at myself for it. Not get mad at myself for it, but say, Lord have mercy. And then I like ruin my train of thought, right? I don't go with the flow. I'm not able to go with the flow because anytime less than holy thought comes in there, I just bombard it with, no, that's wrong. And I can't think clearly. I can't think in depth because of this. And again, it's not because of the Bible. It's because of me. It's because of the way that my brain works. But I need to understand that, and I need to not allow that. I need to just allow myself. I just need to ease into becoming a more holy person. And again, this is not about the Bible. This is not about religion. If you are reading a book, say, from Socrates. Actually, I don't think Socrates wrote any books, but about Socrates or Aristotle or Plato or Marcus Aurelius or any philosopher or Buddhism, whatever. If you are reading some book that is dense in wisdom, or even if you're watching YouTube videos from someone who is further along in their self-improvement journey than you, and you try to be just like them, when you are 5 pegs below them, you're going to burn out. It happens every single time. You're going to go from here. You're like, this is where you are, and you're trying to emulate a guy that's up here. You're like, okay, I'm here for a day. You're there for a day, And then the next day you snap right back down. You rubber band, and it's not good. It's not consistent. You guys, I'm saying you guys need to know that slow and steady wins the race, but it's me too. I need to know that slow and steady wins the race. We need to keep this in mind. This is the most simple piece of wisdom. Slow and steady wins the race. I remember reading in kindergarten a book about a turtle beating a rabbit in a race. And that was the message, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Kindergartners know that slow and steady wins the race. Why do I forget this? Why do we forget this? Slow down. You don't need to be perfect today. Maybe you'll get there eventually to the non-existent perfect. But the point is, you will never get there if you try to get there today. Never. You will never get there. You probably won't even you won't even become great at what you're trying to do if you try to become great today. Because it's frustrating and you realize, oh, I fucking suck at this. I'm not as talented or whatever, or as great or as holy as I thought I was. I'm not as wise as I thought I was. I don't have as good of self-control as I thought I did. And it's discouraging. But if you just take time to look at where you're at and identify exactly where you're at, be honest with yourself, you now know where you're at. Now, rather than going from here to here, you could say, all right, I'm here. Being here the next day is fine. And the next day, here. The next day, here. The next day, here. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's slow down, everybody. Me, you. Let's slow down. We got a long life, right? I'm 21. I'm just a little boy. I got years to grow. I don't need to be perfect today. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but you probably got years to grow. You're probably not 80. Let's slow down. We got years. We got years. We got years.